Welcome to the back office. I'm Delana Dillon, the founder and creative director of Signify Marketing, and this is where you get to sit in on real strategy. Each episode, we step into active businesses and have honest conversations about marketing, growth, leadership, and the decisions shaping what happens next. No one has it fully figured out, but we are building anyway. My guest today is Deborah Jenkins, the co-owner of Doc J's Heat and Air Tulsa. But Deborah's story goes far beyond HVAC. Before stepping into business ownership, she spent more than 30 years in medicine, an experience that shaped the way she serves people, communicates, and builds trust. One thing I've always admired about Deborah is her willingness to keep learning. No matter how much experience she has, she's always open to new ideas, new technologies, and better ways of serving people. And in a world where customers have more choices than ever, that mindset really matters. So, in this episode, we talk about the power of networking, what businesses often misunderstand about customer service, and how listening well can completely change the customer experience. And finally, what it takes to stand out in a crowded industry. This conversation isn't just for business owners in a service world. It's really just about people, trust, adaptability, and building relationships that last. So, Deborah, welcome to the back office.
Thank you. It's fun to be here.
Listen, this was mind blowing to me. I told her before we started filming, I was going to wait and say this when we started recording. I've known you for a while, and I didn't know where Doc J's, the name, came from. How did I not know this?
Well,
How did I not know? I was mind blown. I was like, what? That's where it came from.
well, we really didn't do a big doctor theme kind of
Yeah.
a thing, a hospital theme. Although the funny thing is that if you look at the way that our vehicles are now wrapped, we joke that we could probably pull up to an emergency scene and then people would think that we were there to do CPR or something.
Well, on their air conditioning units, maybe.
Yeah. So we haven't we talk in terms of diagnosis, that
Yeah,
type
yeah.
of thing, and we don't use the word differential diagnosis, but we do approach it in terms of trying to teach people how to systematically go about problem solving rather
Mhm.
than just looking at something that says, oh, it just could be this or it just could be that.
Yeah.
We try to teach our technicians to be very logical,
Mhm.
and that's the same kind of thing that you would do in medicine. So it's kind of a combination of two things. It's a combination of, yes, I'm a retired doctor. And yes, Doc J was my nickname that I was given by the male nurses in particular, and then it began to stick. Um, but also, there was a basketball player, Julius Irving, who back in your parents' day
Uh-huh.
of last century was one of the best.
Okay.
And so if
What was
you're
his team?
I believe it was Philadelphia, if I
Okay.
remember.
A
Um,
listener will probably know.
yes. So, but Julius, Doc J.
Mhm.
So if your name was Julius or Julian or John or something, it would be a compliment if you played basketball and then your nickname could be Doc J.
Okay.
Because of Julius Irving, right?
Uh-huh.
And Julius in high school played basketball. He wasn't necessarily the best on the team. He thought he was, however, and so he was Doc J. So we were both Doc J, but for different
For different
reasons.
reasons.
Yeah.
Well, I just don't know how I didn't know this. I mean,
Uh-huh.
30 years in medicine?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
That's like a lifetime.
Yeah. I look at it as my first life.
Your first life. This is your
Uh-huh.
second life.
That's my second life. And the backstory for that was that Julius was my high school boyfriend. So we were high school boyfriend and girlfriend. He went to the Catholic school, Bishop Kelly here in
Okay,
town.
yeah.
And then I went to the Episcopal affiliated school, Holland Hall. And
Okay.
and then after high school, we pretty much went our own ways. Um, and Julius actually got married after college. And and then I went on to um, undergraduate and graduate school, medical school, practiced as an anesthesiologist, and then did about 13 years of medical outreach work with
Hmm.
Doctors Without Borders,
Oh,
which is the
wow.
reason why I can speak French also.
Super
One of the main
cool.
reasons.
Did another thing I did not know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I had learned French in high school. Um, hardly ever got a chance to use it, but had the opportunity of actually working in French-speaking countries, um, Ivory Coast, Congo, Haiti, and Chad were the four places where French was spoken. Um, so it gave me quite a bit of opportunity.
Yeah.
Um, and but so that's why. But what happened is that it was 2014 when I was at a transition. Was I going to continue to do medical outreach work, which was going to take me away from home
Hmm.
more and more and more,
Hmm.
because I had started to do more operational management types of things.
Hmm.
Either a hospital manager of a small hospital that had been set up in an emergency circumstance, or deputy hospital manager. That those were the kind of assignments that I was taking, and I really didn't want to be that away from home with only a couple of weeks of coming
Yeah.
back to the States and that type of a thing. So I was in transition, and whoop, here comes the old boyfriend from high school through Facebook. Now, see, that's the value of social media
Yes.
right there.
Yes.
Two old farts, high school boyfriend and girlfriend,
Oh,
meet
man.
together, and then that's all she wrote.
Yeah.
Right. When we were in high school, Julius had already been involved in heating and air conditioning.
Hmm.
Um, Great story behind that, actually, was that it was one of the boosters of Bishop Kelly took a real interest in him,
Hmm.
knew that in order for him to be able to stay at Kelly, he was going to have to work during the summer because his parents were not in a position to be able to pay tuition.
Hmm.
So he went to another Bishop Kelly booster who had an air conditioning company and said, I hope you need help. I know a guy. And and it was Louis Terrell, and he worked with Louis in the summer and also during the year. And so Louis actually is going to make me cry. Oh,
Oh.
don't cry now. But it touches me
Yeah.
about how he helped pay for the tuition up front,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and then Julius continued to work it all.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that was part of the work ethic that
Right.
you learn at a very young age, as being responsible,
Yeah.
right? And so that was his introduction.
Hmm.
Went to college, had a job after college doing some early IT work, um, last century. Got laid off, and then ended up working in night shift manager at McDonald's. Right. Um,
Work ethic is still there.
Work ethic's still there, but going back into the trade that he had learned in high
Hmm.
school was something that he felt that you would have ups and downs in the economy, but you would not get laid off.
Right. Right.
And then the other thing of enjoying the fix it,
Hmm.
coming in where something's broken, something's wrong, and being able to fix it really fit his personality
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. That
Um,
was perfect fit then. He didn't know it, but it was in the stars.
yeah, yes, and I think, yeah, because I think that sometimes we think that the trades are only for the guys that could not
Mm.
cut it in college,
Oh,
and that's
no.
not the thing.
Listen,
It
I couldn't do that. They're smarter than me. I'll tell you that. The
it
tradesmen, they're smart, they're resourceful, hardworking, like everything you just
uh-huh.
described, and they're running a business
Yes,
all at the
uh-huh.
same time.
Yeah, that's our feeling too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh man, it's a lot.
Uh-huh.
So, what skills from medicine? Because obviously, you brought a lot of the administration to Doc J's. You brought a lot of the relationship building
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
networking to Doc J's. But
Mhm.
what skills from medicine did unexpectedly translated into this business
Mhm.
that you might not have been expecting?
I think one of the main things is understanding that it's not only just what you do, but it's the way that people feel about what
Mm,
you do
mm-hmm.
is really what determines how satisfied people are.
Yeah.
So sometimes what happens in the trades is that people will go and fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is okay. But if you haven't explained what happened to the satisfaction of the person,
Mm-hmm.
Now, it doesn't mean that you have to give a PhD dissertation. It's just that you need to explain to the point at which they're satisfied.
Hmm.
And um, and I think that's important because again, it's not necessarily just what you do, but it's the way that people feel about it.
Right.
So here's an example: is that you can come in and take care of things, and then you go. A lot of the guys want to go, okay, everything's okay now. They'll send you the bill. See you later, because they want to
Yeah.
get it to the next call.
Yeah.
But that person wants to be able to understand just a little bit about what happened,
Hmm.
because they're asking themselves not only what happened, but was it the right thing for me to do to call you when I did? Is it still gonna is it something that can happen again? What do I
Hmm.
have to watch for? Um, is there anything that I can do to prevent it?
Hmm.
Those are the kind of questions. And
Right.
so and knowing that is because whenever you're talking to people, and you talk to people all the time in medicine, you're always thinking in ahead, what can I potentially answer, knowing what those questions that they may already
Right.
have,
Right.
right?
Because people always have questions about their health, about whatever's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Right.
that's huge.
Yes. So I think that, like I said, that idea of explaining things to people to their satisfaction.
Hmm.
I think the other thing, which is not exclusive to medicine, but understanding that depending upon whom you're talking to and what the circumstances are, you need to try to tailor what you say.
Mm. Yeah.
So if we have people who are engineer computer types, often they like a certain level of detail. Our people who are more of the nurturing type, they just want to know, is my family going to be comfortable?
Right.
They want to hear family talk
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's what they're worried about.
Hmm.
People who are working from home really want to know, what are my chances? I mean, do I really have to replace, or is it better that do I have to, get new equipment? They're going to start asking those kind of questions because they have to have a comfortable environment.
Right.
And they may be Zooming at meetings and they don't want sweat running down their face when they're trying to Zoom.
Yeah.
So again, it's that idea of you tailor what you say according to what your clues are,
Hmm.
not just in terms of where you've kind of sized the person up a little bit.
Yeah.
But you've done it just so that you can figure out how can I help them feel more comfortable about what's going to be done, or what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing is that when something is not your field, okay, it's not your specialty. If you can just get in the habit of, in different ways, learning how to say the same thing without simply repeating it the same way,
Hmm. Hmm.
then you have better communication.
Right.
And the same thing about um, summarizing. After you've said a lot, just sort of summarizing,
Yes.
and then people again will catch on, they'll be more comfortable, and they will understand. And
Yeah.
that's a technique, because a lot of times in medicine, depending upon the circumstances, it can be really routine for you as a medical practitioner. But when it's you
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
it's your body,
Yeah.
there's nothing routine about
Yeah. Yeah.
it. Even if it's not a big deal, you're still anxious inside.
Right.
So I learned the technique of, like I said, saying things more than one way, summarizing them,
Hmm.
because I know that your mind is someplace else
Yes.
and it's not really present,
Yeah.
because anxiety is talking in the other ear while
Hmm.
you're talking on this side.
Yeah. Well, and really,
Okay.
I see that scenario in both situations. In like you're in a medical situation,
Mm-hmm.
in a you have a HVAC problem of some kind. It feels like so much information, like you said, and your mind is just trying to process it. So all of those steps help in both scenarios. This does not seem like something that a lot of HVAC companies might be thinking through, processing through. Is this the normal thing for?
Well, I think that I think the key of any kind of communication is not just, every individual can have their own style, but I think that one of the things that if you can help create an atmosphere of a style and an approach, then you have more people out there that are going to communicate, and I guess you'd call it the Doc J way,
Yeah.
and it goes beyond just you as an individual.
Hmm.
I think that it is um, a lot of times I think it's hard to be like in the field and be a technician,
Hmm.
because can you imagine how many homes in Tulsa you have knocked on that door and you don't know who that person is?
Right.
You as a homeowner, you're looking at one person in front of you, and that technician is looking at, you may be the 50th new person that
Hmm.
they have had to smile to and try to explain something to and try to help you feel more comfortable quickly. And so
Hmm.
you're asking a lot of them,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So to have that skill of quickly being able to be very polite, put people at ease, be able to technically do your job at the same
Right.
time and explain what happened and give your options, it really requires a good full skill set.
Yeah. And a lot of energy.
Hmm. And it's a skill set that you have to help people with. You have to
Yeah.
help people with the technical part, and you have to help people with the other interpersonal parts too.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
100%.
Hmm.
So one thing I've noticed about you is your ability to genuinely connect with people.
Hmm.
Where did that come from? Just you as a is that just your personality?
No, well, I mean, I think some people are more introverted, some people more extroverted. Um, I would probably say that a lot has to do with adaptability.
Mm.
My father was in the military, and unfortunately, he was in the military during the time of the Vietnam conflict.
Yeah.
So he left us twice, once to go to Vietnam, and then another time to go to Thailand, and they were in Thailand because of the conflict in Vietnam. So what that meant was is that my mother, who is original Oklahoman, would pack us up off the army base, and she would always bring us back to Oklahoma, which is home.
Yeah.
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 Which meant that by the time I was in seventh grade and my father was no longer in the military, I had been in 7 different schools.
Oh my word. Yes.
So I think that that's that
Yeah.
adaptability. And the other thing is that as a kid, however, you learn how to always accept the new people in the group because everyone else's family was moving around quite a bit too.
Right.
So,
Right.
so you were always having to welcome the new kid that was standing in front of the class.
Hmm.
I mean, sometimes you can go to school and there's only like one new kid the whole year,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, in the military school, that can be, or on the military base,
Hmm.
that can it happens frequently, and
Yeah.
you're the new kid.
Yep.
So I think in part of that adaptability and openness to change has to do with really has to do with 7 schools in seventh
Yeah.
grade. And I think the other thing is just having my grandparents, my relatives that are Oklahoma people. You know, people from Oklahoma are I think there's surveys that have actually showed that we're some of the friendliest people in the United
Yeah.
States.
I'll take that. I'll take that. I mean, I feel like it's true. So,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
well, adaptability and openness to change, those have
Uh-huh.
got to be superpowers, like in every part of life, but especially in business. How many times in business are things changing? Things get thrown at you weren't expecting. I mean,
Mhm.
all the time.
Mhm.
All the time it happens. So it seems like a superpower, but it's really a hard muscle to develop.
Well, you have to keep flexing it, and I think that I'm no spring chicken, right? And so um, as we go older, I mean, people love stability,
Yeah.
and and as you grow older, sometimes you really start grasping at always staying stable, and when stable means staying the same, but everything around you is changing,
Right.
it's actually more anxiety
Yeah.
producing. And I think just having that attitude of everything's going to
Mhm.
change. You have to figure out what's worth holding on to, and then what else do you have to change,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So um, there are, we do a lot of things on the computer. We have the electronic
Mm-hmm.
invoices, we have the electronic scheduling. Um, it was important for people to get text messages about warnings about their
Yeah.
appointments, warning, and they want to know that you're on your way
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of a thing. Um, because people are juggling a lot of stuff
Right.
together. So some people have kind of have fought that. Well, you have to be adaptable.
Yeah.
And right now, you had to be really adaptable in our industry because COVID changed things radically.
What were the biggest impacts from COVID for
Well, the
your
biggest
industry?
impact from COVID is that when Julius and I were coming back from Atlanta and basically going to get the business open here comes COVID, right? And a lot of
Oh, so
people,
you opened during COVID
just before
here?
COVID, it was actually the fall of 2019.
Okay.
Well, and Juice was working for a company in Moncrief in Georgia, a large company, and he was a technical referent. What that meant was is that he did all the work that the other guys did,
Mm-hmm.
in particular with service and repair, did some install work, but he was the one who was the person that they would call whenever there was something difficult, especially with um, their very high efficiency equipment that has a lot of intercommunicating parts. Some of the equipment, even just at a residential level, could have 6 or 7 different control boards,
Oh wow.
which in layman's terms, people don't call them that anymore, but motherboards,
Yeah.
that are communicating with each other. So you had to be able to figure out, where the problem, was.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what he was doing before we came back. So it was the fall of 2019.
Okay.
Okay, and so here comes COVID, and I think when sometimes people say, "What difference did medicine work?" First of all, we didn't argue over whether or not COVID was real, unreal. I had worked in circumstances and
Well, I'm sure.
had seen people who, without treatment,
Yeah.
not knowing what it is,
Yeah.
could die from
Mm-hmm.
it, right? And and then taking precautions, that's just a way of life. I mean, you get accustomed to wearing a mask, you wear
Right.
gloves, you use disinfectant all the time,
Right.
and it's just a part of procedure. It's something that you do for yourself, and it's something that you do for your patients. It's something that you do for your customers.
Right.
So even if you didn't have fear, I'm not afraid of that. Well, the people's homes that you're going into,
Yes.
they have elderly people.
Yeah.
They have children, especially small children that don't have great immune systems, right? You have to be more
Mm-hmm.
protective.
Right. Right.
So our people with medical problems.
Mm-hmm.
So it was not a big transition. There was no fight about the mask, about the disinfectants, about sometimes, depending upon what it was, changing all the clothes in the garage and then coming in and going
Oh my
straight to
word.
the shower.
Yeah.
Well, you had to, it depended if people were sick and coughing or you were suspecting. And then also doing things where the person's on the other side of the room and you might be talking on the phone, looking at each other way over there or through the glass, you're,
Yeah.
you're talking to them on the phone and waving and knocking and whatever,
Yeah.
and just making transitions. And again, it's, just adapting to your
Right.
circumstance. And then in the industry, we've had to adapt to the favorite refrigerant R22 is, going completely out
Okay.
because of effects on the environment.
Okay.
Having the substitute that came in around 2000, 2008 be shown to have environmental effects. And then that is now on its way out and
So there's gonna be something new.
with newer refrigerants.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third major change would be um, increasing um, the, the materials that go into the equipment have been subject to various taxes and tariffs,
Mm.
and there's a lot of more competition for
True.
resources
Yeah. Yeah.
because globally more and more people want climatized air. They want air
Right.
conditioning. They want central heating.
I don't
Um,
blame them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of pressure on that, so prices are up
Mhm.
and that's something that you have to adapt to.
Yeah.
And their prices basically are up over 20% over
Oh
the
wow.
last couple of years.
Things we wouldn't know about. Only people in the profession would know.
Well, homeowners know when they get an estimate or something
Well,
like that. That's but otherwise you really don't understand
right.
that and also that we live in an international market when it comes to things like steel and aluminum. We do our own production, but we also import a lot,
Hmm.
and those are the things that go into a lot of the bigger pieces of equipment.
Right. Right.
Hmm. Hmm.
Well, I mentioned earlier how you are very skilled and knowledgeable in the networking area of business. So, how important has networking been in building your business?
Oh my gosh, it's really really important for us because we first of all we end up you need a lot of customers
Right.
to
Volume.
be yeah,
Yeah.
because we do primarily residential versus if you're doing primarily commercial.
Right.
It's a smaller group of people, uh, but the other so it's needed.
Hmm.
The other thing is that one of the things that the networking group that we were actually originally
Hmm.
in, um, it really emphasized uh, one of the go-getter principles or the principle of before you go out asking people for something, because a lot of people they're thinking, okay, I'm going to ask them for the sale. I'm going to ask them to send me referrals. I'm going
Yeah.
to ask them. Think about what can you do for that person first,
Hmm. Yeah. Right. It's
which,
less transactional that
right.
way.
But for you to figure out what can you do for that person, you got to listen to them to understand what their needs are.
Right.
You got to think about the area that they might be in,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And I think that helps you to build networking. And I think you also need to be networking and always with your customers.
Right.
You have to keep in contact with them. What people don't understand is that depending upon what your area is, a lot of times you may have done a fantastic service for someone,
Hmm.
but it's been a few years and they tend to forget you,
Right.
and they're hearing all this other advertisement.
Hmm.
So if they haven't heard from you, if you don't have a newsletter, if you're not keeping up with them,
Right.
if you're not at least putting out a newsletter or something, um, then they forget about you.
Yeah.
And that's just human nature.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I think that business to business, it's important for you to figure out ways of being supportive of other people's businesses.
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
So this is a quote that I you know how you watch a movie a million times and then you'll hear something you've heard over and over and then you're like, "Oh, that's really good."
Hmm.
So this is a quote from the very knowledgeable Kevin McAllister from Home Alone.
Okay.
The first one.
Okay.
I think it's the first one. I'm almost positive it's the first one. He says, "People forget to remember you." So sometimes we can take it really personal when we see maybe a customer, an old client or whatever go somewhere else. And a lot of times they didn't mean to forget you. So we got to help them remember us by doing those simple things, an email, a text, or whatever it is. Because people can forget to remember you. But speaking of being memorable, what makes someone memorable in networking settings? Because a lot of people struggle with networking. They feel awkward, they're uncomfortable, but what would make you memorable in that kind of a setting?
Well, one of the things that I usually do, okay, I usually wear a name tag.
Yes.
Now, people will, what's funny is that we are often a creature of what is everybody else doing.
Yeah.
So even if you have a name tag in your purse or in your car, if you're going into some place that's a networking group or something, but other people don't wear their name tag or a name tag, people will tend to leave it in the car
Mhm.
or leave it in the purse
Mhm.
because they feel just a little bit awkward. But I usually wear my name tag because it breaks down barriers.
Yeah.
One of the barrier that will keep you from saying hello again to someone is not remembering their name.
Right. Right.
Or if you are someone who you want to connect with someone and you see a name tag, then you can go, oh, Deborah, did I see you at?
Mhm.
And then it draws people to you.
Mhm. Mhm.
And also, if you're a little bit introverted, like I'm, if I'm comfortable around people, then I'm comfortable around people. What you see is what you get, and it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm very comfortable here, but there's circumstances that I go in, and having people come to me, and I don't have to always be putting out that energy, and I
Mhm.
already know they're going to come to me. I can stand in a room, nobody, don't know anyone, and people will come to me because I have my name tag
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
and that's one of the techniques that I do
That's
use,
good.
right? The other thing is that if you just ask people questions that are probably going to be important to them, if you get signs that someone has kids, ask them about their kids.
Mhm.
Like how the kid, or ask them about how do you handle this. You and trying to do all this and the kids, or what hilarious that have they done recently that you thought, oh my God, I mean, talk to what things you think they're probably going to be. People love to talk about their children.
Yeah, that's true.
They love to talk about what they've done that's been fun.
Well, and I'll tell
Uh,
you this, this is kind of humorous. It's humorous to me, like, it doesn't bother me, right?
mhm.
But because I don't have kids, I have seen in networking situations, people after that one question, they don't have anything else to say. Be like, "Oh, do you have kids?" "No." "Hmm." They don't know what else to say. That's where it stops.
Oh, what?
You know what I mean? Because that's what they have, and so that's what they can understand and
That's what
relate
they
to, and that's they're really asking me about my kids, but really that's what they have to talk about. So that's what they lead with. But so many times they'll ask me, "Do you have kids?" Before they ask if I'm married, they ask if I have kids. And as soon as
Mhm,
I say no, the conversation drops until I start asking, well, tell me about your kids. Do you have kids? How many do you have?
mhm.
So you got to, yeah, that can be hard when that's all you got. You need some other things in your tool belt.
Well, you need some other things in your tool belt, or if you when you stick your foot in the stick your foot in your mouth, admit you stuck your foot in your mouth. I came up. I mean, you can't take. I think don't take yourself so
Yeah.
seriously. So if someone says, well, what I usually get is people will make an assumption that I've got grandkids, I got this, I
Yeah, yeah,
got
yeah.
that, and then sometimes it's just not worth it to even say yes or no or whatever. And again, around Mother's Day. Um, I don't have my own children. Julius
Right.
has his kids, right? But the thing about it is that everyone's going to say Happy Mother's Day. And not only that, is that if you smile to people and you're nice to them, they want to give you the biggest, happiest Mother's Day that they can find. You know what I'm saying? And so I just take it as love. I take all
Yeah.
the love that they're
Yeah.
giving to you because
Yeah.
that's all they want to do is give you love.
Right.
But I think that when you stick your foot in your mouth and you said something like, well, do you have any kids? You go, nope, nope. I'd probably make a joke out of like, okay, here, help me out. I'm networking.
I'm new
I'm
at
trying
this.
to find some commonality here. And I said, I'm asking about your kids. Help me. What's next? You know? I mean, have a, don't take yourself so
Yeah.
seriously
Yeah.
or apologize. I made the assumption you have children and you don't.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, but you know what? We can play that commonality thing.
Mhm.
Let me see. Are you from Oklahoma?
Yes.
Oh, really? Okay. Actually around Tulsa?
Yeah.
Okay, because a lot of people are from outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And
okay.
I could have commonality with you because while I haven't been to all of the countries you were, I've been to that area whenever you were doing Nurses Without Borders. But look, this literally makes me look bad because how did I not know that you were a medical, you
No,
were a
that's okay.
doctor before? But I'm just saying, I'd be like, oh yeah, I've been over to that area, and we talk about things that you discovered and you loved about those countries and
Uh-huh.
everything like that.
Uh-huh. Well, I think the thing is that if it's a different circumstance that it comes up,
Right.
but a lot of times you don't um like I said, it just kind of depends on what the circumstance is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I don't think um I think that you kind of sometimes, depending upon the circumstance, don't want. Sometimes I don't want the attention to be on me. I like
Right.
if it's somebody else's gig,
Hmm.
let them have their time,
Yeah.
and then your time will come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but I'm still wondering what people will say if you say you don't have kids. I mean, oh, you don't have kids. Okay, that was my first question. How about
Well,
dogs?
I
How
think
about
you
dogs? How about
well,
dogs? Dogs
see,
or
sometimes I'll do
cats?
that when they say, "Do you have any kids?" I was like, "I don't, but I do have a mini schnauzer." That's what I normally will say.
Oh, I
Because I've started saying that because I've saw so many people be like, "What else do I say?" You
uh huh.
know? But like what you said would be perfect. "Oh, well, are you from Oklahoma? Are you
Uh
from
huh. Uh
here?"
huh.
Very
Yeah.
natural.
Uh
But
huh.
I think the idea is that you can't always assume that people are fitting into a certain box that you kind of that people are usually comfortable with. But I think that's a good transition of where are you from? What do you tell me what you do for work, which is
Uh
obviously in a
huh.
network
Well,
situation,
what I
probably what you're
what
going
I
to talk
ask
about.
about that is that I think that a lot of times I like to ask people. Um, Sometimes if they say what they do,
Hmm.
what's your typical day actually like?
Yeah.
Because I think we
Yeah.
make a lot of assumptions
Yes.
of knowing what their day is like, and we don't have a clue um, what actually does
Yeah.
happen.
What does that actually look like, especially with some titles that nobody really knows what that
Hmm.
means,
Hmm.
which obviously people think they know a lot of times. What advice would you give someone who struggles with networking or putting themselves out there?
My advice would be to look at it like a smorgasbord. You go into a buffet and go ahead and go out there and try different groups at different times.
Yeah.
Um, Ask the people that you run into that 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 you feel a little bit comfortable with. Ask them where they go.
Yeah.
How has it worked out for them, so that you're getting some feedback about the groups.
Yeah.
When you do pick a group, you can go to a lot of different networking events, and that's what people do. They go to one here, they go to one here. Sometimes they show up at this one, sometimes they show up at that one. If you're gonna build a network, um, you need to see people over and over again.
Mm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
trust and memorability to be memorable
Yeah.
doesn't just happen overnight.
Yeah.
You can have a fantastic elevator speech, so that you've hit all the high points that you're supposed to. Uh, but people aren't going to remember you.
Right.
They're going to forget about you.
Yeah.
So once you think, okay, this one seems to be can fit okay, this one seems all right, go consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but and in general, if you're trying to build a business, you have to go more than once a month.
Right.
Now, I mean, even ourselves, I mean, we have been relatively out of the loop for about a year
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to in-person events. We still are very supportive of people that we can, especially the ones that we see a lot through social media, by being supportive of their business or their
Mm-hmm.
events and what they're doing. And that was just because of family issues
Yeah.
that were requiring a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, like, sample,
Yes.
pick,
Yeah.
and then be
Be consistent.
consistent.
I think that's huge because a lot of
Hmm.
people think that networking events are just to be pop in, pop out, but that's not where you get the most value. It's when you are consistent, right?
I think consistency is really key, and then you also have to, I mean, to pay attention to whether or not, if people are just sort of showing up and passing out business
Mm,
cards,
mhm.
or if people are actually meeting outside of the
Right.
meeting, because that's really where the connection is.
Yeah.
Our shared networking group that no longer exists. I think one of the absolute strengths was frequency,
Mhm.
um, common acceptance of the value of one-on-one or small groups,
Mhm.
the value of asking people questions of them before you start saying things about you.
Right.
trying to figure out how could you potentially help that person in some kind of a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and or whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
I think that's important. And yeah, like, wear a name tag, um, and like I said, do something for the other people
Yeah.
if you can.
Yeah.
And I think especially with social media and a lot of people trying to, they have business accounts.
Yeah.
Go in, follow their business account, not just like what they say. If there's something where you can actually make a thoughtful comment, and LinkedIn is fabulous for
Yeah, I
that.
know you're big on
That's the
LinkedIn, right?
land of the, yeah, but LinkedIn is like, I like LinkedIn is sort of like me hanging out with people that I probably would have hung out, at school with,
Yeah. Yeah.
and a number of the people that I went to college with are, still big LinkedIn people.
Mhm.
So yeah, I do really like LinkedIn.
Mhm.
I like that not only is it, somewhere where you can learn, where you can potentially promote your business.
Mhm.
I mean, 85% of everyone who's a connection is in the region,
Right.
right?
Right. Yeah.
But in the same light, there are people there that you can learn from. It can often be interesting what they're talking about,
Right.
and it's a platform where you can be more thoughtful. You can post longer posts and people will
Yes.
actually
They
read
actually
them.
read. They're there to read them.
They're
Yeah.
actually there to
Yeah.
read them. And I think that, I think it's a growing platform.
Yes. Well, and I think people, I don't know, it probably depends on your industry, but people are,
It
I think,
does.
are still trying to figure out how to best utilize it for that makes sense for them.
Well, it's changed so much of, well, this is some place that I just throw my resume out to,
Mhm.
is that it really recognizes that, the majority of the time when people find a new place of employment, it's they find it by doing what?
Scrolling on social media probably.
Well, it's from networks.
Yeah.
The best jobs are found through
Well,
networking.
that's sure. Yeah, and you're more likely to probably have a foot in when you're going through that your network.
Yes, yes, and your network can help you. I
Yes.
still, since I haven't asked if it's okay to mention her name, but her face is right in front of me.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. That's fine.
still I
That's fine.
still I still remember someone who, good hard worker, right? But she was doing something that probably really wasn't yet in her skill set.
Mm,
So she, got fired.
mm,
Okay. But was she conscientious? Was she a learner? Was she someone with potential? Yes, she was. And people in the network knew that.
yeah.
And so when she put out her resume that she was looking, people shared her stuff.
Yeah.
The
Because they.
girlfriend found a job in two
Yeah.
weeks
Well, and also because
after
they
she had
knew
been
her.
fired
Yeah.
from her other job. And she has proceeded to move up.
Hmm.
And oh my, I'm so proud of her.
Well, it's good. Well, that's what having a
Yeah.
network is
A
so important.
network's important, not just for what your business is, but if
Yeah.
you're working outside of the
Yeah.
business. Uh-huh.
Exactly. They're your cheerleaders. They're your support.
Uh-huh.
They're your promoters. They'll talk good about you behind your back. They should, anyways.
Yeah.
I guess I should say they
No,
should.
that's the good that's
That's the good network.
what you call the good gossip.
The good gossip. I mean, I know that there's some of both, but
Uh-huh.
we can choose to be part of the good gossip.
Uh-huh.
So in the HVAC system, people customers have a lot of choices.
They do.
How are some of the ways that you all set yourselves apart so that you're distinct? Obviously, I mean, for me, I met y'all through networking situations. So to me, I know you, I like you, I trust you. Boom. But just
hmm
to the general public, how do you set yourself apart?
I think that there's nothing like absolutely wild that you can do.
Hmm.
I mean, to set yourself apart. I think the positive things that you do, if you try to do them consistently,
Yeah.
and you also recognize that one of the most you rec okay, what I tell the technicians and I tell people, first of all, you are going into someone's home.
Yeah.
Okay, that home, your home may be 4,000 square feet with a pool, Their home may be 1,200 square feet with a little patch of grass in the back,
Hmm.
with a poor little dog that wish it had a poodle. Okay, it doesn't matter. That is their home.
Yeah.
That is their itty bitty little castle.
Hmm.
Okay, so you approach that you have entered into their kingdom,
Yeah.
and when you're in somebody else's kingdom, you are always courteous. You are always polite. You err on the side of formality
Hmm.
rather than informality because you do not ever want to offend anyone.
Yeah.
So, if in doubt, it is always yes, ma'am, yes, sir, you betcha,
Hmm.
okay? Because you don't want to go up to an elderly female and then call them by their first name. You always call them by their last name
Yeah.
first, and again, you do the southern ma'am, yes, ma'am,
Hmm.
kind of a thing first because you're erring on the side of formality.
Yeah.
So I think that when you always go into people's homes with that feeling of respectfulness, that this is your kingdom,
Hmm.
and it's an honor
Hmm.
to be invited into your home.
Yeah. I gotta tell you
You
that.
carry that with you always, whenever
Yeah.
you can, and you're not doing them a favor.
Right.
That is, I think that helps.
Hmm.
And then the other thing, like you said, people have a lot of choices, and not every business is going to be the right match for people.
Yeah.
Um, and then I think the other thing, which because you do so much social media, go ahead and show people who you are, what you do behind the scenes,
Yeah.
and don't be shy about showing who you are,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So uh, stock photos may look really great and they may be perfectly composed,
Hmm.
but they're not the same as having
Right.
your own people.
Hmm.
And so after the guys do an install, they're not perfectly dressed in a white shirt with a monogram on it.
Yeah.
Okay? The jeans are dirty. They are sweaty. Sometimes their shirts are hanging on them and they're wet,
Yeah.
right? Their hair was combed at the beginning of the
Might
day,
not be now. Yeah.
but they still have that great smile if they're saying, we just finished this, and they're taking a picture in front of the equipment.
Right.
So just show what's involved in your business,
Hmm.
and think that people like to see what's involved in your business.
Yeah.
We think it's absolutely off the chain that we were just showing how Julius, he was talking about how cleans an outside air conditioning condenser, always does a deluxe clean, right?
Yeah.
On LinkedIn, 3,500 impressions on LinkedIn.
Hmm.
That means local people are like going, oh,
Interested.
really? Is that how
Yeah.
he does that?
Yeah.
Again, it's behind the scenes, it's
Yeah.
authentic. And I think being authentic is something that people like to know.
Yes. A lot of times people in your industry, they don't expect to know what the technician's going to look like until they show up. And so having those behind the scenes things lets them know, okay, that's who I'm working with, you know? So it's not just a complete stranger. Oh, I've seen them. I've seen their picture. And probably it was texted to them in the, hey, I'm on your way type of thing
Yeah.
too.
Well, and people know, I think when people talk about branding, a lot of times they think very superficial,
Right.
that it has something to do with it's all about the pretty logo.
Hmm.
But actually that brand is when people hear the name
Hmm.
or they see that brand,
Hmm.
what is the first thing that comes to their mind? Does it make them smile?
Yeah.
Does it kind of just give them kind of just a hmm, are they curious? But in general, whatever is that first impression, oh, I heard good things about them,
Yes.
or they helped my mama,
Hmm.
or whatever. That's really the kind of thing that's the kind of branding that's important.
Yes. Oh, so important.
Uh-huh.
What are some of the lessons you learned the hard way with Doc J's?
Oh, geez. I learned the hard way that just because you're capable of doing something doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good thing for you to do.
Oh wow.
I think that I was able to at the beginning juggle all the back office things,
Hmm.
and I was actually interested in learning some of things that I had didn't know about at all. But I think that it would have been better to have actually hired out earlier.
Mm.
Um, Now that I do have a virtual assistant, I just thought, why did I wait so long?
Yeah.
Why? Why did I actually, wait as long as I did?
Yeah.
And it wasn't that I was, a lot of times people say, if you're not good at something, that's what you should hire out,
Hmm.
or something like that. Or if you
Yeah.
don't like it,
Yeah.
well, a lot of the stuff I actually liked. I just
Yeah.
wish that I had more time with it.
Right.
But I really enjoy, like even the freedom right now of being able to talk to you,
Yeah.
and knowing that anything that's coming in, that Joselle, who is our virtual assistant, is answering
She's
that,
got it
right?
covered.
And she's got it covered. And not only is she good, I mean, I trained her, and she's incredibly, talented and smart, and um, she's not US based,
Uh-huh.
right? But she has a master's degree, and because she can't find a equivalent position in her country, right?
Hmm.
So, and sh her undergraduate was a concentration in children's art.
Oh, wow.
So her graphic design mind
Yeah.
and her social media mind is just off the chain. How
Yeah.
talented she is.
Hmm.
She's got so many capabilities, and it's a joy to be able to work with her.
Yeah.
But I would have done that much, much earlier, and that was one of my mistakes that I learned from, because I was doing so much, and then I got pretty burnt out
Right.
and frazzled, and didn't. It was harder to separate. You really got to separate your business life and your personal life.
Yeah.
If you are working like with a spouse or a partner, and you are always together, that business can creep into everything that you do,
Exactly.
and that's not healthy for a relationship.
Yeah.
You've got to have where the door closes.
Yes. That's important for people to hear. It
Hmm.
really is.
Hmm.
What excites you most about where the business is headed right now?
Well, what excites me is that I think that we're in a position where we can really start to grow, and because we want to get a couple more apprentices. We're someone that um, a lot of people are, they have these boards, and they keep them, and they're looking at, like, this hour how much we made or
Mm, mhm,
whatever, and they're
mhm.
keeping up with all their money all the time. And we um we of course look at money, because you have to make money to stay in business, or you're out of business, right?
Yeah.
But one of our passions is being able to train apprentices, and train apprentices well, so that they can understand all aspects of the business.
Mhm,
And we actually teach them about marketing too.
mhm.
And so we were happy about that, and we're hoping to be able to grow, because we want to acquire another couple of apprentices, because we have a couple that are getting more and more independent, and so we want to continue to do that.
Yeah.
And then we're very proud that we are based in North Tulsa,
Mhm.
and we want to continue to be primarily based in North Tulsa.
Yeah.
Be-
Sometimes I pull you out of there.
because well, we go all over Tulsa, but we
Yeah.
like the idea of we like the idea that our future would be to give opportunities to the
Mhm.
kids that are coming out of the neighborhoods that originally Juice and I were raised
Yeah.
in. He was in the Dunbar district, which is really, and the Greenwood district,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And I was raised in the Phoenix district, which is up around 36th Street in
Mhm.
Peoria. So again, it's the idea of, we like the idea of representing, and making people proud. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really hokey sounding, but
No,
we
no, it's
just
not at
love
all.
we would love to, we love the idea that our logo is very, it's like a little magnet
Yeah. Yeah.
that is very attractive to people, because they kind of look like those bobbleheads, right? So they look playful.
Yeah.
And we would love that. We've actually had adults that I've said, okay, are you sure that maybe you're not the real Doc J? Have you seen that when they look at the
Yeah.
logo
Yeah.
and they stand there going, no, I think I'm the real Doc J?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Um, and no matter what they look like before they get next to the logo, afterwards they look like the Doc J. Why? because a Doc J's a happy person.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And so then they become happy people too.
I
It's
love that. I love that.
so,
And I have some of those magnets too, by the way.
uh-huh.
I do. I have them. So I'll just say that I look more like Doc J.
Well, actually, you probably could if you, yeah, if we have to get you next to our new raps.
Yeah.
Have you seen them on
I know,
social
yeah,
media?
yeah, yeah, yeah. They
Yeah,
look great.
yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Um, Also, I think just that picture of you wanting to kind of stay in North Tulsa, that kind of be your area you're known for. That's legacy.
Well, I mean, most of our customers are outside of
Yeah,
it, but yeah, it's just the
it's
idea
legacy.
of yeah.
That's
You know,
great.
I was raised in a situation where community and sense of community is very important. I love that. I mean, we go to Bixby, Jinx, suburb. You know, we know
Yeah.
people there, but in the same line, we really love that Tulsa's population is stabilized,
Hmm.
and Tulsa's population is actually starting to regrow again.
Yeah.
And there's so much business and growth within the city limits of Tulsa. There's an excitement, and that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It
That
is
is
really cool.
super. That is super cool to be excited. And we have a lot of people to thank, including the people who will pay you to come and try it out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
The Tulsa Remote Program.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, you can't go wrong with that.
No, you can't. Uh-huh.
So before we close, I always ask this question.
Yeah.
What is one thing you don't have fully figured out yet, but you are building through anyway? She got it all figured out.
No, not all figured out. I think our one of our greatest challenges is that how do you stay how do you grow, stay competitive, and how is AI going to fit in there?
Mm. Hmm.
Uh, where you want to maintain the personal the
Right.
personal part
Yeah.
of what you do, but in the same light, you have to keep your costs down.
Hmm.
So how do you keep your costs down and use AI so that it is actually potentially frees you up? Can you imagine where AI can free you up so that you actually can have more personal time
Right. Right.
because things are being done automatically, and then therefore you're not spending as much time doing it,
Yeah.
right? So just just having just using technology tools. Like
Yeah.
example, like one of the things I'm looking at right now is that our guys are so much better at orally, doing dictations than they would ever be trying to write something
Right.
down.
Right. Right.
I mean,
Right.
they all have, four fingers and or whatever, but all thumbs. Um, so um, being able to hook in an app that has a little bit of HVAC knowledge so that you've trained it,
Hmm. Right.
and then it can actually help within their management system so you can just dictate, and it actually is smart so that it is anticipating and helping you say it so that
Yeah.
you're not spending all this time writing stuff down, but you're
Right.
actually communicating, and you can actually spend more time with the customer
Right.
because you're not you've seen the guys sometimes they come out of the house and you see them sitting in their work trucks,
Yes.
right? What are
Yeah.
they doing?
They're making notes.
They're making notes.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're there 15 minutes because
Yeah.
you watch them, people are watching them through
What
their,
are they doing out there?
what are they doing out there? And the guy's got his head down the whole time making notes.
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be great if we could cut down on the note time?
Yeah.
So really understanding how AI can help you.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's really what's really key.
This is what I said. I said, you're always open to learning. This is the perfect example of what I'm
That's
talking
fine.
about.
Okay.
Okay. So tell everyone if they want to find Doc J's, where can we find you online?
Wow. Well, you can find us our website,
Hmm.
which is Doc J's Heat and Air. We're easy to find. Add in Tulsa if you want, but it's Doc J's Heat and Air. We're on Facebook, on LinkedIn. We have an Instagram account. We need to up our game on TikTok. But yeah, but we're
We have, you
really,
can have fun on TikTok. You can have some fun on there.
yes, yeah.
The real over on TikTok.
Hmm.
All right, we'll find them there. And that is it for this session of
Hmm.
the back office. If this conversation gave you clarity, a new angle, or even just the reminder that you're not the only one navigating this, then it did its job. Take what's useful, act on it, apply it, and no one has it fully figured out, but we're building anyway. And if you found this valuable, share it with another operator who's building, and you can always hang out with us in between sessions at Signify Marketing Social. I'm Delana Dillon, and we will see you next time.